Retail stock favorites SolarCity and First Solar are moving in opposite directions. We've got everything you need to know about investing in these two companies thanks to the help of TheStreet's very own senior energy contributor, Dan Dicker. Dan, thanks for being with us.
Right, Joe.
Dan, we're seeing First Solar rise by more than 30% for the year, SolarCity down more than 2% for the year. Why is this happening?
Okay, First Solar it does large-scale industrial kind of installations. And there's been a big push in this country for utilities to have a certain amount of their power in renewable energy. And so through 13, First Solar built out a lot of these plants here in the United States. But what's been happening over the course of the last month and a half or 2 months is that it seems clear that that kind of build-out is going to slow down through 2014 and into 15, which is against what First Solar is actually saying is going to happen. They have some opportunities offshore in the UK and Australia, other places. But here in the United States, I see that kind of slowing. And most of the analysts in solar would have you believe, and I believe as well, that the major trend is away from large-scale industrial installations to small-scale residential panels.
Interesting.
On housetops. And in that turnaround, SolarCity has by far the best model for getting sales of residential panels onto rooftops with the financing programs, a whole bunch of things that they're doing. In fact, I think they have the only viable way to get residential panels on rooftops. What has happened, of course, is that with some upgrades with some analysts, First Solar has really started to take off since the start of the year. And SolarCity, on the other hand, has come off deeply because of the general bashing of momentum stocks that we've seen over the last 2 weeks. But I think that provides an opportunity, and if there was one stock that I was going to recommend in the solar space, and I think you need to have something in the solar space. This is a growing space. If you have a balanced energy portfolio, you must have something in solar. The one that I would want is SolarCity because I think it has the most potential, despite the fact that it's by far the less conservative stock. It doesn't have really a measurable PE or the kinds of sales that you're looking for.
And so real quick, why not First Solar then?
Well, because again, I think that what the trend is away from these large-scale projects into small-scale projects. Mm-hmm. And in fact, they have a limitation on the panel structure that they use, cadmium telluride. And they've gotten some bumps from some analysts, but I think in the long term that they're wrong about how that's going to go. And again, the crush in momentum stocks, you're getting a better price to risk ratio right here on the momentum one as opposed to the one that's really not.
All right, Dan, thanks so much.
Okay.
Dan Dicker is telling you to keep an eye on SolarCity, even though it's down this year. That's senior contributor Dan Dicker for TheStreet. And in New York, I'm Joe Deaux.